Welcome back. Yesterday, the first music video that I ever shot and directed came out on Instagram Stories. I believe that it's the first Instagram Stories music video that's ever been made. There might be others, but the way we did it, we incorporated Instagram's entire technology UI for Instagram Live, Instagram Stories, and regular old Instagram. So in a sense, the video is groundbreaking, and it's awesome because what a great first project to work on. There's so much different cool stuff we got to try out, not only with the shoot, but with the edit as well. The edit was pretty intense. So in today's video and in Friday's video, the next video we release, I'm gonna go over the process of shooting and editing Chris Canon's Alive music video. You're gonna learn a whole lot of awesome tips for vertical view videos, and you'll get to see me struggling through my first ever music video shoot. So let's get into it.
I'm taking it back. See, I thought you had it like that. Now I gotta cut you some slack.
Every year, without fail, the world becomes increasingly mobile. Mobile traffic goes up, the portion of all traffic that is on desktop goes down, and so it makes sense to start designing content for the vertical view. And the music industry is really great about being one of the early industries to catch on to this. Music industry is designing for vertical pretty much before everyone else. So it's awesome to see all these like vertical art pieces, but I've yet to see many actual full-on music videos designed for mobile with no 16:9 aspect ratio version of the video floating out there. Similarly, when we see vertical videos released from artists, they seem to be like loops of animations and just weird videos that aren't actually full music videos. So when Chris Canon came to me to talk about marketing his next release about 3 months ago, he was talking about doing maybe like a little bit of a lyric video on Instagram Stories, releasing it that way. I thought that was cool, but as we continued to talk, we got all these ideas flooding in for what we could add to that. And by the end of that meeting, we had a fully sketched out storyboard for a completely vertical music video. And we had planned to incorporate all these elements of the Instagram platform that we love into the video. What you're looking at right now is the whiteboard at the end of that day of planning. And we were so excited, and I was so glad that like this was gonna be my first music video. So Chris Canon's team, which is a team of amazing people, including the producer of this music video, the guy who helped organize everything, they got to work securing the sets and the costumes and the props that we would need to shoot what we had planned. And that was a dream because I just didn't have to do any of that. I got to just kind of plan the shoot, plan the edit, and not worry about all that other stuff. So having a great producer for the project was definitely a major plus. It made it so much easier. So I got to give a big shout out to Jason Johnson and Shell Richardson, who helped put together this whole thing. They picked the locations, they got all of these crazy outfits, they got a throne for us to use, so big shout outs. Then about 2 weeks and a couple of meetings later, the shoot day rolled around. We were gonna shoot it over 2 days. We had like a day and a half to get everything, and then another half day for safety in case we needed to do any reshoots. And I will say that I made some crucial mistakes in the amount of gear that I brought to the shoot. I think I brought all of my batteries for both my cameras and my external recorders. I brought 2 cameras, I brought my gimbal, I brought all this lighting equipment and stuff, and I really only needed my camera and my gimbal, maybe like 3 batteries. These cameras are so capable nowadays that if you're shooting with natural daylight, you really don't need to bring a whole lot to a shoot, and I definitely learned that the hard way. And the shoot was so much fun.
Rolling and action.
I am very, 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 very ready. Like bad news, this is very heavy. Got the ooh from Richie, then this jelly. It's a lot of D's, Ed and Eddie. I got God with me like I'm DJ Envy. I am acting up like I won an Emmy. Gave his life, that's a pretty penny. If it's holy water, then I'm skinny dipping, yeah.
So we just wrapped the first shot.
Yeah.
It was dope. These people are amazing. All these people are amazing. So I'm gonna have to finagle the screenshots and post, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think we're good. I think we got some good stuff. First music video shoot.
Some FaceTime, bro.
What's up, though?
Ah!
This man's all wet. He was just in that water over there. And
turning up, dog.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Chris
be crazy.
Cannon, a live video shoot, 2019.
It's the first.
The very first.
Instagram story music video.
Don't forget it.
Not believing in my own dreams. What? That's inappropriate. That's inappropriate. That's inappropriate. Tesla, yeah, the flow is electric. Who gon' say I ain't next up? Got an old man and a new man. You got both of them messed up, and you know both of them dressed up. I'm blessed up, so I bless up. Flow sick, I need checkups. Ballin', check up. Yeah, I feel alive.
Now, a couple things about this shoot is that, first of all, we needed to replace all of the phones that appeared in the video. We needed to replace the screen. So at first I thought, let's just tape like blue construction paper here so that I can mask it out in After Effects when I'm doing the edit. But the construction paper was a little bit sloppily taped. We didn't get it perfect, and it was pretty much useless when it came time to track all of the phones in the shots and then replace the screens. I ended up having to do that piece by piece, which I'll explain in the next video in this series. But that was a major mistake on set. Now, one of the joys about shooting a music video that's gonna end up in a vertical format is that you get to shoot everything in 16:9 and then selectively reframe your shots with this narrow field of view. So I didn't have to be nearly as tight with all of my shots as someone who was shooting for a 16:9 delivery format would have to be. Furthermore, I was shooting in 4K and everything, so I wanted to end up with a 1080 by 1920 image, and that gave me a lot of space to play around with. I had double the space vertically and quadruple the space horizontally, so I could really move my shots around and reframe. It also helped that the GH5's autofocus is not too bad in daylight, because the whole time my camera was on a gimbal and I didn't have access to focus the camera. So I needed to rely on a lot of autofocus, shooting with clamped down apertures so that a lot was in focus. So I sacrificed a shallow depth of field look to the video, but I don't think that was necessary because of all the extra stuff we were gonna do to make the video cool. So shout outs GH5 autofocus. I'm sorry that the internet shits on you. I'm sorry that everyone says you're bad. You're good. You're good enough. You're usable. And then the other thing that I'll say came in extreme handy was this. This belt goes around your waist and then it attaches to the bottom of a gimbal. So I was basically holding the gimbal out like this from my belt, and I could use my whole center of gravity to add some extra stabilization to the shot. If I had to hold the gimbal out in front of me the entire shoot, it would have been way more difficult, but because I had it all very centered, including with the use of this belt, and I had a lot of my extra batteries and stuff attached to the belt, it made it a whole lot easier. It's not easy walking backwards through like 2 feet of water in the opening shot of this music video, but with the belt, you can't even notice that I was struggling so much. Another huge benefit came with the fact that we really only planned for there to be 4 or 5 actual scenes, actual takes, actual shots in the video. Because we planned for many of the scenes to be one continuous shot, I didn't have to worry so much about getting the right shots in the edit. I think we had like 8 scenes total, but like 90% of the video is just 3 takes. So I had like 7 alternate takes of those scenes to choose from. I just choose the best one and then move on. There were some instances where I had to make it look like it was a continuous shot with effects. So right here when Chris Canon shakes his hair, you'll notice that when the shaking stops, the camera's oriented a little bit differently, he's oriented a little bit differently. And that's because they're 2 different shots that I kind of just covered up with the hair shake animation. So we ran into a little bit of difficulty, but I will say that like anytime you have an opportunity to plan a continuous shot in a music video, do it. It's so much less of a hassle when you're editing. It looks so much cooler. And it really has that suspension of disbelief, right? It puts you right in the video because we're not cutting the scene. And lastly, when it comes to the shoot, I will say that we had an amazing cast and crew. All the extras were so helpful. They were willing to do everything that we asked them to do. And the crew that Chris Canon put together for this video, I cannot thank enough. It was an amazing experience because they had everything set up before we needed it to be set up, and they just killed it. So all in all, I couldn't have asked for a better first music video shoot. All the people on set, all the people involved made it such a pleasurable experience, and I really didn't want to have like an amateurish looking first music video. I wanted to impress all of my video peers in Orlando. One of my favorite directors in Orlando is David Dodden. He makes the most amazing videos, and he called it one of his favorite videos of the year, which was like my main goal. And if I didn't have the cast and crew that I had, if we didn't have the concept that we had, I don't know if that would have been possible. So I will say that pre-production is the most important thing. Storyboarding, get a big whiteboard, get a notebook, and storyboard out every shot. How's it gonna happen? What is the camera motion during that shot? Where is everybody? What are they wearing? What are the props? props, where are you in physical space? By planning all this stuff out, you can break down a costumes list, a props list, a set list, and then the producers can go out, find all those things, and it'll just be a joy to work with because you know exactly what you're doing going in. Now in the next video, I'm going to go over the edit, which definitely requires its own video, especially because I almost lost all of the footage halfway through. So definitely stay tuned because the edit is probably one of the more important things about this video. It took a long time, it was very difficult, and it made the concept. It's what brought the concept all together. With that said, I've been Circa for Full Stack Creative. If you like this video, please like the video. And if you want to see the edit video, just subscribe and ring the bell to get notifications and you won't miss it when it drops. And if you do, I'll see you in that next video. Peace out.
Cheap suits, cheap suits. I'm killing this gefilte fish, boy, seafood, seafood. Let my mind renewed, I move like a king move, yeah, I feel alive. I feel alive. I feel alive. I feel alive.